Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a concept from our source material that is so profound, yet honestly so incredibly simple you just can't deny it. We're talking about time, specifically the 24-hour day. It is the ultimate universal equalizer. It's the one metric that governs every single one of us, no matter who we are or where we come from. But look, this isn't just some abstract theory. We're going to explore how one individual used this exact framework to go from being a high school dropout with zero prospects to a best-selling author in under 6 months. Understanding the mechanics behind that kind of shift, it can absolutely alter how you view your own daily routine starting right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. 24. It's a stark, objective truth. Every single person on this planet gets exactly 24 hours in a day. Not a minute more, not a minute less. The clock ticks at the exact same speed for all of us, constantly resetting at midnight. If you think about it in smaller terms, you get 1,440 minutes a day. And honestly, by the time you wake up, hit snooze a couple of times, and finish your morning coffee, a massive chunk of your daily, non-renewable wealth is already gone forever. It's the ultimate depleting resource. Our source text really zeroes in on this 24-hour cycle as the unshakable foundation of everything we're about to discuss.
Section 1. The Great Equalizer. Time does not discriminate.
Now, what's really interesting about this is, because we're all operating with the exact same daily time allowance, the speaker makes a very direct claim. Your success in life is entirely dependent upon how you choose to use those specific 24 hours. Think about titans of industry and media, people like Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. We often talk about them as if they have some magical advantage, right? Like some secret tool the rest of us just lack. We contrast them with someone who's completely broke, struggling just to get by, and we automatically assume there's this insurmountable chasm between the two. But the speaker insists we've got to stop looking at the end results when we compare them, because guess what? The clock doesn't change based on your status. Oprah Winfrey's day is exactly as long as the day of the person who has absolutely $0 in their bank account.
The speaker breaks this down even further with an incredibly adamant stance. Why? Because, well, as humans, we constantly use our circumstances as alibis. How much money do you currently make? The clock doesn't care. It ticks anyway. Whether you grew up completely broke or with immense generational wealth, totally irrelevant to the passage of time. Whether you're currently sitting in a prestigious university lecture hall or you've never even set foot on a college campus, it makes absolutely no difference to the literal hours in your day. We use all these factors to excuse our lack of progress, but time is the one resource that cannot be bought, hoarded, or inherited by the wealthy, and it literally cannot be stolen from the poor.
So, the crucial point is this. Quote, "The difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely." That's it. Just let that sink in for a second. The speaker is stripping away all those complex, convoluted theories about success and boiling it down to this single, actionable variable. It's not about luck. It's not about secret formulas, and it's definitely not about natural genius. It is strictly about wise time management. But what does wisely actually mean here? It means prioritizing high-leverage activities over passive consumption. It means allocating your hours to building, learning, and creating instead of letting those hours just evaporate into mindless scrolling or endless TV. Wise use of time is the sole differentiator from monumental success.
Section 2. A personal transformation. From dropout to author.
You know, it's one thing to talk about abstract billionaires like Warren Buffett, but our source brings this concept right down to earth, straight into a gritty, super relatable reality. This gives us a very accessible proof of concept. The speaker asks a deeply personal question, and I really want to pose it to you right now as well. What happened in my 24 hours? Really think about that. If time truly is the great equalizer, how does someone radically change their life using the exact same day everyone else has?
Well, the speaker's own massive transformation brilliantly illustrates this. Let's look at point 1. They were a high school dropout. Statistically speaking, the odds were incredibly stacked against them in the traditional job market. But then, point 2 happened. They decided to finally get a grip on their 24 hours. They stopped letting time just happen to them and took total ownership of their daily schedule. And this wasn't just some vague mindset shift. It meant rigorous, practical changes. It meant waking up hours earlier while the rest of the world was asleep. It meant really auditing their day, realizing they were losing 3 hours every single evening to passive entertainment and aggressively cutting that out to replace it with focused writing. And the result of those compounded daily choices? Point 3, they went from a dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. I mean, that is a staggering achievement, and it all stems entirely from fundamentally restructuring how they allocated the minutes and hours of their day.
Which leads us to a stark emotional warning from the speaker. You gotta get a grip on your 24 hours, because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. The earnestness in the source material right here is just palpable. It's meant to intentionally agitate the problem of stagnation. The brutal psychology of time is that if you don't actively manage it, the default trajectory isn't success. The default trajectory is staying exactly where you are. repeating the same struggles, the same financial stress, and the same unfulfilled potential forever. Time is going to pass regardless. The warning here is really about who you will be when it does.
Section 3. Predicting your future. The ultimate challenge.
Let's move to this next part and see how this builds, because now we're turning the mirror entirely onto you. The speaker proposes this fascinating test, making a bold, almost unbelievable claim. They suggest that auditing your daily routine acts as a literal crystal ball. Step 1. Write down your 24-hour schedule. And we mean write it down in 15-minute increments. You have to be brutally honest with yourself about where the time is actually going. Step 2. Let me look at it. Step 3. I can tell you all about your life. The whole argument here is that your daily habits are the absolute blueprint of your existence. You don't need magic or tarot cards to predict your future. You literally just need to confront the ugly truth of what you're choosing to do at 2 p.m. on a random Tuesday.
I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years. This creates an incredibly heavy sense of compounding time. Think of your daily habits kind of like compounding interest in finance. The things you do today aren't just isolated little events. They earn interest over time. If you keep repeating today's schedule over and over, it completely solidifies your distant future. A wasted hour of doom scrolling today is a missed opportunity compounding over decades, leading to a drastically different life outcome. But on the flip side, an hour spent wisely today, reading, building a new skill, working on a project, that is the foundational brick for the life you will actually inhabit 20 years from now.
So, I want to leave you with one final, ultimate question. Where will you be in 5, 10, or 20 years if you keep today's schedule?